What's up, Brian Tong here, and this is a first look at the new foldables announced at Samsung's Unpacked event. Now, I wasn't able to be in New York because I still have a 6-month-old, but my cameraman John Kim went in my place, so we have hands-on a first look with everything Samsung now. So let's show you first what's the new, and it has to be the Galaxy Z Fold 8 in its new passport-style form factor. And I've been saying it for a while, since the first Google Pixel Fold. This has been my favorite design of choice for a foldable, even if it means maybe you need a little wider pocket compared to what you're used to. But this is not their flagship foldable. That's the Z Fold 8 Ultra, and that is the upgraded model of last year's Z Fold 7, which was my phone of the year in 2025. So we'll get into the improvements there in a moment. Now, the new Z Fold 8 is going to really test how successful a foldable can be with now 2 different design choices for the open book style Z Fold 8, Z Fold 8 Ultra, because yes, and then there's also still the Z Flip 8 they also announced. So really 3 foldable models to pick from by Samsung. We know that foldables only make up 4 to 5% of Samsung's overall smartphone sales, but they do drive over 15% of their premium revenue, but this is still a niche product until it proves it isn't. The new Z Fold 8 will be only 4.5 millimeters thin when open, which is still very slim, but obviously not as slim as the new Z Fold 8 Ultra's 4.1 millimeter thickness. This is the slimmest fold ever, and my top request in my review from last year was to make the hinge easier to open, and they have improved that with an easy open and close mechanism. It's a hinge with magnetic optimization, so there's less friction, it's smoother, and you still can't open it with one hand, which is fine to me, but they improved the hinge. The Z Fold 8 Ultra still brings an 8-inch display when open. The Z Fold 8 has a 7.6-inch display when open, and its aspect ratio looks really great for watching content on it. That's really the main focus here. And both displays have a 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate. Now, the Fold 8 won't have the top-of-the-line cameras for a foldable with a 50 megapixel wide and 50 megapixel ultra-wide cameras, while the Fold 8 Ultra will still have a 200 megapixel wide camera and the same 50 megapixel ultra-wide. But it still won't match Samsung's flagship S26 Ultra's camera with a 200 megapixel 1.4 aperture on the wide camera and a quad camera system with up to a 5x optical zoom. Now, the Z Fold 8 will have a 10x digital zoom, while the Z Fold 8 Ultra will have a 3x optical and then a 30x digital space zoom. So Samsung still has a better camera on its Fold 8 Ultra model compared to the Fold 8, but it's not its best. Now, their most compelling new form factor with the Fold 8 gets a lower tier camera system. Doesn't make me that thrilled about that. Both foldables will be powered by a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy chipset with 12 gigs of memory for the 256 gig and 512 gig storage models. 16 gigs of memory come with the 1 terabyte storage models. So all indications would say this will just be as snappy and as fast as last year's model. Maybe a little more, but it's going to be very well performing. Z Fold 8 Ultra has a slightly larger battery at 5,000 milliampere hours versus 4,800 for the regular Fold 8. And they both have super fast wireless charging and wireless power share built in, plus IP48 for dust and water protection. And the Z Fold 8 Ultra comes in some new colors now with violet shadow, graphite, cream, and green shadow, which is the online exclusive color. And then the Z Fold 8 comes in lavender, graphite, cream, and pistachio, which is the online exclusive option. And let's just touch on the new Z Flip 8 as well, with the same size display and a slightly slimmer body when open and closed, and lighter in weight from 188 grams to 180. Still a dual camera with a 50 megapixel wide and 12 megapixel ultra wide, and then you have the 10 megapixel selfie camera inside. And you also get the same Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy processor and 12 gigs of RAM with 256 gig and 512 gig storage options. The 2 larger foldables get ultra wideband for better connectivity options, but the Z Flip 8 does not. Now, the Z Flip 8 comes in pink, graphite, cream, and mint is the online exclusive color. But the biggest feature across all 3 foldables is what Samsung calls Flex Titanium, and it's a more durable display structure that will reduce the crease on their foldable screens. Samsung announced it before the event, and it's a titanium alloy film and a titanium plate that will help to balance the slimness, flexibility, and strength of the foldable structure. It also not only allows the crease to be reduced significantly, but also results in a stronger display. We know other companies are working to create a zero crease feel on foldables, and the crease really never bothered me, but having a significant reduction like this is an upgrade that is a nice to have feature, especially with the expectation that there will be more new consumers deciding on getting maybe their very first foldable with multiple models from not just Samsung, but other first timers like Apple. So this new design is something that I'm going to have to use over time to see what I really think about it. It's an improvement and I'm sure I'll like it. But again, I'm someone who never cared about the crease that much in the first place, but I do like the idea of a clean, smooth surface when opened. Now, from a software side, I think what I'm curious the most to see is the evolution and implementation of Google's Gemini Intelligence and being able to automate tasks. So without jumping into any apps, you'll be able to order food or buy event tickets. And this task automation is an example of agentic AI where all the work is being done for you behind the scenes. And that's pretty sick, but I'll have to put it to the test in real life to see how good it actually is or isn't. Now you just have to talk to Gemini, and it was in beta in February when the S26 Ultra launched, and now this has been expanded to over 40 apps. Gemini can also understand what's showing on your screen to help you with this and use images it sees on screen as prompts as well. And this will be available first on the Z Flip 8, Z Fold 8, and Z Fold 8 Ultra. So these models matter just even from that perspective of using a new evolved Gemini. Now, it's just a whole lot more ahead of what also Gemini can do on that other fruit platform right now. And this looks to be the trend for a while, right? Android devices will get the newest stuff first, and then other platforms might take a year or two before they get it. Samsung also announced the new Galaxy Watch 9 and Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 at Samsung Unpacked. The Ultra 2 gets lighter, specifically the strap. Now its weight was shaved down by 25%, and you know what? It makes a difference, and it's still top heavy as a watch, but I was surprised how light it was on wrist. And let's not ignore it's up to 5,000 nits display. That thing is freaking bright. The Galaxy Watch 9 hits at up to 3,000 nits, and that's also the same brightness as the Z Fold 8 Ultra and the Z Fold 8 displays. And with the Watch 9, you can raise your wrist to easily activate Gemini. No wake word is needed. Gemini will also be coming to intelligent eyewear that's developed by Samsung, and that was teased at Google I/O when I was there in Mountain View earlier this year. It's coming this fall, and we actually saw the 2 new designs that will feature Gemini from Samsung here as well. And in an attempt to make things easier, they're making switching to Android even easier with a new data transfer experience that's built directly into Android 17, and it will allow you to transfer over 20 different data types from an iPhone with either a cable or wirelessly, and there is no separate app required. Another cool software feature from Samsung that I thought was interesting for content creation is called FanCam. It takes any video 720p or higher from your gallery and uses onboard Galaxy AI to analyze the video and spit out various crops of the same video in landscape or vertical frames. I feel like this is a feature that now takes advantage of actually having the ability to record 8K video with all the cropping it can do. It's able to identify people in the video and follow them. And this is all built in to the gallery app and all done on device. So pretty cool stuff there. So what do you think of the announcements at Samsung Unpacked? Look, I love the idea of the passport style Z Fold 8, but the Z Fold 8 Ultra looks a whole lot more appealing to me, especially with how I fell in love with the Z Fold 7, and it's the true next generation of it. The Z Fold 8 is being treated more like the entry point and not as a flagship level foldable option. We know the new passport form factor has been rumored for a while, and we know Apple is doing a similar shaped foldable as their primary one. Samsung beat them to it, but will it matter? And this year will tell us if the foldable market as a whole finally takes off even more, still stays really niche, but it also might be the pricing now more than anything that helps determine that, and it really has before as well. So which product that was announced has your attention here, right? Or where did they maybe fall short for you? Put your thoughts in the comments and I will read them aloud to myself. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, I'll be reviewing these on the channel, so come on back now, you heard, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace and love.